Hey witches, right, I wanted to cover a topic that's very, very close to my heart. It's called mental health and magic. So I've suffered with mental health since I can remember. I've been diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, bipolar, manic depression, borderline personality disorder, depressive. I could go on and on over the course of like 15, 16 years. I've been diagnosed with so many different things. Personally, I think it's all trauma based, and with what I have personally, I think some things obviously you're born with, and some things are in a way magical. I think with my bipolar, or what they called bipolar, I think my senses sort of overload because my consciousness has grown ahead of my brain sort of capability. So it's almost been like a system overload in my brain, and that's definitely what it feels like. It feels like there's so much going on that I can't figure out right from wrong, up from down, and what the hell I'm doing. So this is something I've really, really thought about. And I definitely believe that these things have always been around. People are like, oh, there's so many cases of ADHD now, autism, all of these things. And there may be, I'm not saying that certain things don't cause these. We're not more trauma based. But to be fair, we've been at war and we're doing fucked up things and going through fucked up things since the beginning of time, recorded wise. I believe before there was probably a better world. But I do think that these are just names of things that have always been around, and that people have just cared enough in the last 100 years to name these things. What's fantastic in it, and it shows that we are moving ahead and caring more about people's minds. I actually read a book, I think it's called The Art of Happiness, and it's the Dalai Lama, and it's an American psychiatrist, and they sort of have a conversation. And in the book, it says that the big problem with the world is like when you go to a psychiatrist or a counsellor or a doctor, it's not about happiness, it's about being okay, when the world and life should be about being happy, and not just being mediocre and okay. So I do think that's something that we all need to work on. Where medication and stuff's concerned, I've tried all different medication over the years. I've had some really, really bad experiences, from losing consciousness to going absolutely mental. Now I do take medication, but a very, very low form. The lowest that I can take, whereas I'm supposed to be on quite a high dosage. Not that that makes me feel better about it. But personally, where medication is concerned, I try not to use it if I have to, unless I have to. But as I have a young child, he don't deserve having to put up with someone that can't control themselves, if that makes sense. So I made the choice to take it, and at least for the near future. Most of us have PTSD. I think all of us have been through things that warrant it and that cause it and that make it so we have a lot of trauma that we haven't worked through and we haven't processed properly. So therefore it comes back up, and it keeps on coming back up until we look at it. And that's very much like how the universe works. And to me, the universe is our brains and our souls and our spirits, and it's just a collective of all of us. But the universe will keep throwing you things until you learn how to deal with it. And I think that's very much like PTSD and these things. It keeps on coming up. It keeps on coming into your brain until you deal with it and put it to rest. Mental health, I think, is such a big conversation. There's no way I could cover it all in one of these sort of short videos. But I really want this to open a conversation. If you have any mental health problems, if you're going for anything, please feel free to comment below, because it's one of those things that if other people see other people going through it, it makes life a little bit easier and it makes you feel less alone. And I think that's a big problem with mental health, is about not feeling alone and isolated. That's what I've got, manic depression, so that goes from one extreme to another. So I want to be isolated alone, and I want to be around loads of people from one extreme to another. So I think it's very important that we talk about it. It's all about healing. Health even has the word, I'm looking at it now, and health even has the word heal in it. And that is the aim, is to heal. Is to get through and heal and be happy. Not be okay, not be mediocre, but to be happy. Whether that's with meditation and self-love, or if it's with medication, and that process, whatever it is that gets you through the day, comment below. Hopefully it will help someone else get through the day.